Have you ever wondered if a woman's greeting could actually reveal her true intentions? The way she says hello, the way she looks at you, even the smallest gestures can carry powerful signals. In this video, we're going to break down the subtle signs women show when they're sexually interested and how you can spot them instantly. Pay close attention because a simple greeting might tell you more than words ever could. When it comes to understanding whether a woman is sexually interested in you, one of the most powerful indicators lies in her body language, because the body never lies even when words try to play it cool, and the very first greeting can often reveal more than a full conversation if you know what to watch for. Think about the way she approaches you. If she's genuinely excited to see you in that moment, her entire body shifts into a more open and inviting posture. Shoulders slightly relaxed, chest facing toward you, and her movements appear more fluid rather than stiff, almost as if her body is subconsciously pulling her closer to you. And when she greets you with a warm, lingering hug or a touch on your arm, it's rarely just politeness. It's a signal that she wants to break the touch barrier early, because a woman who is only casually friendly will often keep her distance or give a quick handshake, but the woman who desires something deeper will find subtle excuses to make contact, even if it's something as small as brushing her fingers against yours when passing an object, or holding your hand just a second longer than necessary. The eyes play a huge role here too, because prolonged eye contact is one of the most telling body language cues, and when a woman greets you with a direct, lingering gaze, maybe paired with a slow smile, it's her subconscious way of creating intimacy right from the start, as if she's trying to lock you into her energy. And sometimes you'll even notice the way her pupils dilate slightly, or how her eyes quickly scan your face before coming back to meet your gaze, which is a primal, uncontrollable response to attraction. Another clear giveaway is her smile. While a polite smile tends to be quick and restrained, a sexually interested woman will often flash a wide, genuine smile that reaches her eyes, sometimes even biting her lip or tilting her head slightly as she greets you. And this combination of head tilt and smile is almost like her body's way of saying she's both comfortable and intrigued by your presence. Pay attention also to the way she positions herself physically, because distance matters a lot, and a woman who wants sex will rarely greet you from afar with just a wave. Instead, she'll step closer than necessary, sometimes entering your personal space, leaning in while talking, or standing with her hips angled toward you rather than away, since orientation of the body unconsciously reveals where her attention and desire are directed. Another small but telling sign is mirroring. If she's truly into you, you might notice that as you lean in, she leans in too, or if you cross your arms, she playfully does the same before unfolding them to signal openness, which shows her subconscious is aligning with your movements in a rhythm of attraction. Her voice and breathing can also betray her desires, because during a greeting, if her tone is softer, slightly breathier, or higher pitched than usual, it's often her nervous system reacting to excitement and attraction, and she may even laugh more easily, giggle at things that aren't really funny, or fidget with her hair, jewelry, or clothes as a way to release nervous energy while trying to appear more appealing. When you combine all these elements, the physical closeness, the lingering touch, the intense eye contact, the wide and genuine smile, the body orientation, the mirroring, and the nervous yet excited gestures, you begin to see that her body is screaming what her words might not dare to say. And that's why body language cues are one of the most reliable and powerful ways to know if a woman greeting you isn't just being polite, but is actually hinting that she desires a deeper, more intimate connection with you. While body language speaks volumes, the tone of a woman's greeting can be just as revealing when it comes to uncovering whether her interest goes beyond simple friendliness, because words are one thing, but the way those words are delivered is what carries the true message. And if you listen carefully, you'll notice that a sexually interested woman often greets you with a voice that feels warmer, softer, or more playful than usual, as if her tone is dipped in subtle flirtation. Think about the difference between a flat, casual hey and an enthusiastic draw, nout he, paired with a teasing smile. The latter instantly creates a more intimate energy, showing that she's excited to see you and maybe even trying to set a lighter, flirtier mood right from the start. And it's not just the words but the pitch that matters too, because many women unconsciously raise the pitch of their voice when speaking to someone they're attracted to, giving their greeting a sweeter, almost sing-song quality that makes you feel special, while at other times her tone may slow down, becoming lower and huskier, almost like she's letting you in on a secret, which is one of the clearest vocal cues of sexual interest. You might also notice how she stretches out certain words, like saying your name with extra emphasis or lingering on the syllables in a way that draws attention and creates intimacy. And even laughter plays a huge role here, because a woman who greets you with a giggle or a playful laugh before she's even said much is subconsciously signaling comfort and attraction, since laughter is a bonding mechanism that lowers barriers and builds instant chemistry. The rhythm of her speech is another detail worth noticing, because a casual friend might greet you quickly and move on with no pauses, while a woman who wants more will often slow down her words, leaving slight gaps between them as if savoring the moment, making her hello feel less like a routine and more like a gentle invitation into her energy. Another sign is personalization. Does she greet you with a simple hi, like she does everyone else? Or does she add your name, maybe even a playful nickname, or something unique that shows you're not just another face in the crowd? That small twist in her greeting is a clue that she wants to stand out in your mind, and the effort she puts into making her hello sound different is often driven by deeper attraction. Tone also comes alive when paired with teasing, and if she greets you with a joking insult, a playful challenge, or a slightly sarcastic but fun tone, it's a way of creating tension, because sexual attraction thrives on tension, and she's using her voice to test how you respond, pulling you into her playful frame. Pay attention too to the emotional warmth in her tone. Does her greeting feel rushed, transactional, or does it carry a glow, almost like she's pouring genuine happiness into her words? A woman who is sexually interested can't help but let that warmth spill over, and you'll hear it when she says your name in a way that feels like music, or when her voice softens as though she's subconsciously trying to draw you closer. Even little sighs, breaths, or subtle hesitations before speaking can be telling, because they show her nervous excitement, and when combined with eye contact and body cues, they create a greeting that's less about words and more about an emotional invitation. All of this means that when you pay close attention, the tone of a woman's greeting becomes a map to her hidden desires, revealing not only whether she's glad to see you, but whether she's hoping for something much more intimate. And once you train your ear to hear those shifts in pitch, rhythm, warmth, and playfulness, you'll never again mistake a casual hello for a seductive one. One of the most overlooked but extremely powerful signs that a woman is sexually interested in you shows up in the way she manages proximity and physical comfort during the very first greeting. Because the distance she chooses is rarely random, it is guided by instinct, and if she wants you in a deeper way, she will naturally shrink the physical space between you in subtle but meaningful ways. Imagine the difference between a woman who greets you from an arm's length away, keeping her body angled slightly to the side, and one who steps right into your personal space, positioning herself directly in front of you as if she's inviting closeness. This closeness is her way of signaling that she's not only comfortable with you, but she wants to create an intimate energy where her body and yours share the same space. And this comfort zone is something women rarely offer unless attraction is driving the decision, because biologically we are wired to protect our personal bubble. And when she allows you in without hesitation, it's a silent invitation to something more. Watch how she greets you with physical gestures. Does she lean in when saying hello? Does she hug you tightly with her body pressed against yours rather than giving a quick, distant embrace? Does she linger just a little longer than normal before pulling away? All of these are signals wrapped in comfort and desire, because a hug that feels warm and slightly prolonged is a lot more than a friendly gesture. It's her body saying she enjoys your presence and is comfortable blurring the boundary of space between you. Another powerful indicator is how she positions herself after the greeting. Does she stay close by your side, maybe brushing against you casually, or does she retreat back to a safe distance? A woman who wants sex will often remain close, leaning her shoulder toward you, standing with her hips angled in your direction, or even stepping slightly into your space while pretending to adjust something or make conversation. And this closeness doesn't just happen once. It repeats itself throughout the interaction, which is why noticing it right at the greeting sets the tone for what's to come. There's also the way she handles barriers, because when someone is not interested, they will often keep objects between you, like a bag, a drink, or even folded arms. But a woman who desires more will minimize these barriers, greeting you with open posture, maybe with her hands free or even lightly touching your arm, chest, or shoulder as a natural extension of being near you. Pay attention, too, to how she behaves in comparison to others. Does she greet everyone else with a quick hello from a distance, but somehow, when it's your turn, she moves closer, smiles brighter, and stays in your space longer than she needs to? That difference is a golden clue that her comfort with you goes far beyond normal social etiquette. The comfort also shows in her relaxation. Her body isn't stiff, her shoulders aren't pulled back defensively. Instead, she appears calm, fluid, maybe even playful, as though she wants you to feel ease between you both, and this comfort is often paired with micro expressions like a deep exhale, a slight sway of her body toward you, or her feet pointing directly at you, which all subconsciously communicate that she feels safe enough and drawn enough to let you inside her invisible circle. Trust, proximity in greetings is essentially the unspoken language of desire, and once you begin to recognize how much a woman reveals by simply standing a little closer, leaning in, or choosing not to step back after hugging you, you'll realize that comfort and closeness are not small details at all, but powerful signs that her attraction is physical, emotional, and very possibly sexual. When it comes to decoding whether a woman's greeting hides sexual interest, her facial expressions can often give her away more than anything she says, because the face is like an open book of emotions, full of micro expressions and subtle movements that happen before she even realizes she's showing them. And if you pay attention, you'll notice signs that her attraction isn't just casual, it's laced with desire. One of the first and most powerful signals is her smile, and not just any smile, but that warm, slightly mischievous grin that lingers longer than necessary and often comes paired with sparkling eyes, because a polite smile is quick and controlled, while a sexually charged smile is wider, genuine, and almost playful, as if she's inviting you into her private world, and sometimes she might even bite or press her lips together lightly as she smiles, a subconscious gesture linked to excitement and sensuality. Eye contact is another huge giveaway, and while friendly, eye contact usually breaks within a second or two. A woman who greets you with sexual interest will hold her gaze a little longer, almost as though she's trying to lock you in, and you might even notice her eyes flicking down to your lips before returning to meet yours, which is one of the clearest nonverbal cues that she's thinking about intimacy on a deeper level. Raised eyebrows at the moment of greeting can also betray her feelings, because when someone is excited to see you, their brows lift ever so slightly as if to emphasize surprise and delight, and if she pairs that with a wide-eyed look and a tilt of her head, it's almost like her face is saying, "I'm intrigued by you." Another detail is the way she uses her cheeks, flushed skin, or a faint blush when she greets you, often a sign of arousal and heightened attraction, since her body reacts chemically even before her mind catches up, and this natural reaction is very hard to fake. Then there are the micro expressions, the tiny flashes of emotion that appear for just a fraction of a second, like a smirk, a half flick of the lips, or a soft exhale with parted lips when she sees you. These fleeting signals often reveal the desire she's trying to keep under control, and if you catch them, you'll know her greeting carries much more meaning than surface-level politeness. Head movements also add to Story, because a woman who wants more will often greet you with her head slightly tilted, exposing her neck in a subconscious display of vulnerability and attraction, or she may lower her chin and look up at you with wide eyes, which creates a subtle but powerful sense of intimacy and allure. Another strong indicator is how expressive her face becomes around you compared to others. Does she light up more when greeting you, laugh easily, raise her brows, or exaggerate her expressions as if to draw you into her mood? This heightened animation is often her way of showing excitement and amplifying her presence so you notice her more. Sometimes her greeting will be marked by playful exaggerations, like raising her eyebrows dramatically, widening her eyes in mock surprise, or giving you a teasing smirk, all of which are facial strategies to create a fun, flirtatious vibe that hints at attraction. And finally, the way her lips behave during a greeting is a dead giveaway. If she licks them lightly, moistens them before speaking, or lets them part slightly while holding eye contact, it's not just random movement, it's a primal signal of interest, a subconscious preparation for intimacy, and when combined with a warm, prolonged smile, it becomes almost impossible to ignore. So when you add all these subtle but powerful cues together, the genuine smile, the lingering eye contact, the lip movements, the raised brows, the tilt of her head, the blush on her cheeks, and the playful expressiveness, you realize that her face is not just showing happiness at seeing you, it's broadcasting a silent but undeniable invitation. And once you train yourself to recognize these signals, you'll see how much truth hides in a simple hello. While body language, tone, proximity, and facial expressions all play their role, the words a woman chooses when she greets you, or more importantly, how she twists those words, can reveal whether she's just being friendly or whether she's slipping in verbal hints of sexual interest, because women rarely come out and say what they truly want. Instead, they leave breadcrumbs in the form of playful phrases, teasing remarks, or questions that dig deeper than surface-level conversation. Think about the difference between a plain "Hi, how are you?" and a more personalized, suggestive greeting like, "Well, look who it is. I was wondering when you'd show up," which instantly carries a flirtatious undertone and creates tension right away, because she's not just acknowledging your presence, she's dramatizing it in a way that makes you feel like the center of her attention. Another verbal hint is when she greets you with a compliment that goes beyond the generic, because a woman who is sexually interested will often notice specific things: your cologne, your smile, your body, your style, and she'll drop those compliments casually in her hello, sometimes even with a teasing twist like, "You're looking too good today. What are you trying to do? Distract me?" Which may sound lighthearted, but is really a disguised expression of attraction. Pay attention also to whether she uses your name in her greeting, because saying your name right away adds intimacy. And if she pairs it with a playful tone or repeats it twice, "Hey, Alex, Alex," it creates familiarity and warmth, while nicknames or inside jokes slipped into greetings are even stronger signs that she wants to build a unique, personal bond. Another powerful hint comes from the way she teases you during the hello, because teasing is not hostility, it's a form of flirtation. So if she greets you with mock annoyance like, "Oh, you finally decided to show up," or playfully exaggerates something about you, she's trying to create that pull energy that sparks chemistry. Since sexual attraction thrives on playful tension, questions also matter here. When she greets you and immediately follows with a curious, slightly personal question instead of small talk like, "Where have you been hiding?" or "So, who were you with before this?" She's signaling interest in your world in a way that goes beyond polite conversation. And sometimes the questions themselves carry suggestive undertones. For example, if she greets you with, "You look like you didn't get much sleep. What were you up to last night?" She's planting ideas of intimacy while framing it as casual banter. Her use of laughter is another clue, because if she laughs at her own greeting, giggles right after saying hello, or bursts into laughter before you've said anything, it's usually nervous energy spilling out, and that nervousness is often tied to attraction, since she wants to make a good impression while still appearing playful. Watch for her use of emphasis and exaggeration. Does she drag out words like he, look at you, or stretch your name in a way that makes it sound like she's savoring it? That vocal playfulness is a verbal signal of flirtation wrapped inside a simple greeting. Sometimes the hints are even more direct. She might greet you by referencing intimacy or closeness without realizing it, like saying, I need a hug from you right now. Or don't think you're getting away without saying hi properly, which forces a physical interaction while framing it as a playful demand. Even her choice of topics right after the greeting can matter. If she jumps into talking about relationships, attraction, or anything remotely tied to sex or closeness, she's deliberately steering the conversation toward intimacy from the very first moment. Put simply, her words become tools, not just to greet you but to test your response, to push the boundaries of politeness, and to drop signals that she's not only happy to see you but also curious about what more could happen between you. And once you start recognizing these verbal hints for what they are, you'll realize that her hello isn't just a greeting, it's an invitation wrapped in playful words. Perhaps the most convincing sign that a woman greeting you is doing so with sexual interest rather than casual friendliness lies not in one isolated action but in the consistency of her behavior, because anyone can accidentally smile longer once, stand a little closer once, or tease you once, but when these signals repeat over and over each time she sees you, they build a pattern that can't be ignored. If every greeting feels charged with same playful tone, the same lingering eye contact, the same closeness, then it's not coincidence, it's intent, and this repetition is her way of creating familiarity, almost training you to expect a certain level of intimacy whenever she enters the room. Think about the difference between a colleague who sometimes greets you politely and sometimes not at all, versus a woman who, no matter when or where you meet, consistently lights up when she sees you, greets you with enthusiasm, and makes you feel singled out from everyone else. This unwavering pattern is her subconscious broadcasting attraction. Consistency shows up in her touch as well, because if she brushes against your arm or hugs you warmly once, you could dismiss it as situational. But if she does it every single time, lingering just enough to remind you of the closeness, then it's a clear ritual she creating, one that ties physical contact to every hello. Even her verbal greetings reveal patterns, like always calling you by a special nickname, always exaggerating her hello, or always finding a way to slide a compliment into the very first moment of conversation. And this repetition is powerful because it shows she's deliberately treating you differently than others. Another layer of consistency is in her emotional energy. Does she always greet you with extra excitement, no matter her mood, as if you flip a switch inside her, causing her to smile wider, laugh easier, and soften her voice just for you? That shift, repeated each time, is a hallmark of sexual attraction, because emotions don't reset randomly. They anchor themselves to people who trigger them, and if you're the one who always sparks that glow, then she's already connecting her attraction to your presence. Pay attention also to how she sustains the interaction beyond the greeting. Does she consistently linger a little too long before pulling away? Consistently find excuses to keep talking after hello? Consistently angle her body toward you while ignoring others around? These repeated behaviors stack up like evidence, creating a picture of attraction too strong to dismiss. Consistency matters because it separates genuine signals from coincidences. One long hug could be friendliness, one flirty tone could be habit, but when those things happen again and again, always directed toward you and not everyone else, they reveal where her true desire is pointing. Even in group settings, you'll notice this consistency because she greets others in a neutral, quick way, but when it's your turn, the same unique warmth, the same prolonged attention, and the same playful spark appears, as if she can't help but give you more. And the fact that it happens every single time tells you she's not just being polite, she's showing preference. Another important detail is escalation. Consistency doesn't mean her greetings stay the same. It often means they build over time, becoming slightly warmer, slightly more physical, slightly more personal each time, which shows her attraction isn't fading but growing stronger, and she's using her greetings as a safe but obvious way to test how far she can go. When you see this pattern repeat in her smiles, her touches, her tone, her eye contact, and her energy, you don't need her to confess her feelings outright, because the consistency is the confession. And once you recognize this pattern, you'll realize that women don't just greet men they desire once in a while. They greet them with the same magnetic energy every single time until it becomes undeniable that their attraction is not just a spark, but a steady flame waiting for you to notice. So now you know, a woman's greeting is never just a simple hello. It can be a secret code filled with body language, tone, closeness, expressions, words, and repeated patterns that tell you exactly what she feels but may never say out loud. The key is to watch for consistency, because one sign might be coincidence, but when all these signals keep showing up again and again, that's when you know her attraction is real. If you found this breakdown helpful, make sure to hit that like button, share this video with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe for more powerful insights into attraction and psychology, and tell me in the comments which of these signs have you noticed before but never realized what they really meant. Until next time, pay attention to the details, because they reveal everything.